point.
All right, like,
I am a bit sad that Orcs didn't really do the "it is what it is" to the end of time during that particular space segment, but the game was too weird and silly. And honestly, I kind of respect it.
I want to point out, like, I don't know if you guys saw Ghost on the player cam there before he went, literally shaking. This is an insanely stressful game. He's warmed up. They're not putting Paulo in for this one. Of all the scenarios we had laid out today, you know, almost no one said the series was going to be a 2-0 either way, but I think not even one person said DNS 2-0, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's all 2-1s, I'm pretty sure.
Like, this scenario where KT lose like that makes me wonder if maybe this is going to be a 2-0, because momentum-wise, you have negative 10,000, and DNS have the giga momentum of like, wow, we held that off. We were able to pull this through and clean up and win the game. All of that aside, you got to go back on stage in front of a full arena here. You got to play game 2, and right now, first pick goes to KT Rolster. They'll ban the Malphite, the Orianna on their side, and we'll once again see the Jace Rumble Varus, you have to imagine, here for DNS.
Yep, I imagine that is going to be the way, as the Jace last is an interesting choice. Maybe that means that the DN Supers have an idea of potentially leaving it up. We'll just have to see. With the fact that it's Fearless, we're not going to have the same sort of game state as BDD. Unfortunately, looking a little bit rough on his Azir so far this LCK Cup. I don't know whether he's picked up that many victories on this champion when it is one of his most famous picks.
Yeah, do I dare say it? No, I won't say it.
Oh God, am I gonna like? I'm looking it up right now.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything.
0%. That's not looking great, as Jace is left up. Aphelios and the Cassiopeia. What did I miss while I was looking up those Azir stats?
Jace is a flex pick, and we have seen one of Perfect's most famous games, a win against Gen G on it. But it is likely to be piloted by Cuz. I have said it before, but it has very rarely been relevant because it's been banned almost every game. I think the Jace right now in the jungle is a very risky pick. It's just not very sturdy. It is incredible in terms of impacting lanes early, and for objective fights it can be quite powerful, but when you get to later fights, you're just a paperweight sometimes. As DNS also then get the Giga Strong Rise Yunar rotation here.
I really want Jinx Lulu. Because then, when you to the skies in on the Jace, you become a bit more durable and you have a bit more CC. However,
Pantheon Taliyah, or Taliyah, leave it a flex pick.
I wouldn't mind Pantheon Taliyah, actually. That'd be kind of cute.
Jace is pretty blindable in the top lane, you know? Okay, well, we're just going to remove all mystery, as Perfect is like, oh, I thought I was playing Jace. You see his face? He's like, they promised me I might get to play it.
Wait, but jungle is still up, so they can just pick Trundle. And that feels pretty good. Because you're into a Taliyah, Trundle doesn't have a lot of dashes.
He doesn't really care about the Jace too much.
Troll King, Troll King. Yeah, you have so much sustain. I actually think that it could be a little bit of a rough one if the Trundle does come on through. But it does mean that you then sacrifice the Lulu, which is obviously what they want to be picking up on this rotation. So maybe thinking about it.
Or
instead it's Lee Sin.
Lee Sin for fun.
Yeah! Let's pick a billion different dashes when there's a Taliyah.
I am playing comfort. I saw how game 1 went.
And honestly, Pyoshik out-jungled Cuz in a pretty big way in game number 1.
He certainly did.
I think he deserves to have his fun game.
It's also very sticky, getting on top of a Jace, as the Braum will be taken away, kind of leading into, I'm not going to allow a Lucian Braum lane.
Yep.
Here on the bottom side into my Yunara. Lulu, 100% got to be banned here.
Oh, 100%, yep. That needs to leave.
I don't
Lulu,
see,
Bard, maybe those are going to be the bans.
You don't have pick priority, so you can't pick it away. You just have to take it away. Zahin.
Oh my goodness. Wait a second. So, does KT have a different plan? Because I was expecting Bard Lulu as the definite ban rotation, but not wanting to do that, just going to try and protect this top lane as much as they can.
The Bard, I think, is fairly, you know, it's manageable. The Lulu, I just don't think is. As we'll take away the Nautilus to prevent any more of the single target blow up here.
All right.
And in terms of engage, they currently have a seismic shove.
I mean, they have an unstoppable onslaught.
Kind of, yeah. And, you know, the hammer knockback, you know, in second.
There's the Lulu ban.
Thankfully, they do make the right choice.
I think that could have been very
catastrophic, potentially, there on the bottom side. Bard is still strong, but I think for KT, manageable here in this situation. They can also, believe it or not, go Alistar here, and I think it's okay. They need a little bit more frontline. This Rek'Sai can shore that up as well.
And counter pick for Peter there as well to make sure that they can shore up this bottom lane as best they can. I think that's really, really smart.
And now if you go for a melee pick here to look for more engage as KT, they can go for the Alistar. If you go for a ranged pick, they opt into something else that's a little bit safer. Like the Bard, for example, that you mentioned. So could be, it feels really strong here for DNS. Oh, Tristana. No way they actually go for the Jinx after not doing it earlier.
Oh, a bit of a fun Caitlyn kill lane could be on the cards here. As Aiming locks it in.
Maybe?
Yeah, Caitlyn locks one of the oldies.
Could also be strong. It helps set up for the pick comp. Like, either of them work really well. They'll just take the Bard away. And now Alistar feels unplayable here for Peter.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
So now what is he going to go for here? Is he going to go for some sort of like marksman support, or does he have a plan to run something like a Karma?
Yunara Renata? No, that doesn't sound very good.
This is a very uncomfortable position to be in as Peter. The Caitlyn pick, I think, kind of catching them off guard.
Well, Rel is feeling very similar to an Alistar at this point in time.
Yeah, really going to be quite a tough early lane to pilot.
And there is no range at all on DNS as well. So they need Pioshik to find aiming with a Q. Otherwise, I mean, he just nets out of any sort of engage here from Peter. It's just going to be really tough to kill this Caitlyn.
I kind of do think that if they could survive the laning phase, though, DN Supers, their comp does big damage later. The Scion is going to disappear, and there is not any other frontline. The Jace doesn't offer a ton of utility in this comp here at all. And the Bard ultimate sets up really only the Talia shove. And otherwise, there isn't a ton of follow-up there. This draft for KT is wonky, but it does a lot of stuff in the early game, and it wins lane and the bottom lane super hard. They're going to have to play through that, empower their bottom lane, where if we see just another lackluster performance from Ghost in this lane that's supposed to be one where they end up losing it somehow to this Rel lane, then I think we see a 2-0 here, Atlas. Like, you've got to get a lead here. You have to play through that. You drafted for it, and there are consequences if you fall behind.
Oh, 100%. And there's also a lot of poke power here for KT as well. So if they lose dragons, things are going to be problematic on that front at the same time. I feel like there's a bit of a draft gap, but honestly, I felt that in game number 1 as well, and look at where we are. Let's get into the rift for game 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, not able to kill the ward. As fans going crazy as Pioshik is almost dead. Does just have to use a ward, which is a resource, you know, loses a little bit of something. This lane is going to be so hard for the DN Supers.
Also means Pioshik get to start his safeguard as well, which is not ideal.
We're going to put that in the cons column as well. As at least Dudu is going to have a really good time.
I love bad level 1s in range where Peter's just like, I have a shield. Please don't touch me.
Yeah. Well, this, it doesn't get better.
Shoot the shield. Please don't shoot my AD carry.
They just need to hope that aiming misses as much CS as possible. Unless they all in, as he flashes already. Aftershock now down, though, as Peter taking a lot of damage back. The electrocute from Ghost doing so much work as the crash down. The re-engage. Aiming is able to at least stay alive to help with that kill, but Doctor versus Ghost. I like this one for the Yunara, and DNS. They figured it out, just all in.
Yeah, you cannot actually go into the range of the Rel when you're playing the Caitlyn and range support setup here.
Oh,
so
no.
You know,
wait, did you cast a curse this as well?
I mean, I did kind of say if they lose it, it's like really bad and like it shouldn't happen, and it probably won't happen. You got to play through that bottom lane. But they may have just lost the game.
They may have. Well, aiming going to get slurkled. And Doctorm still here, wants to get this crash, and will be able to do so. And so First Blood and the trade back. The First Blood did go over to KT. So theoretically, gold advantage there, but the kill goes over to the Yunara, and the kill on KT side goes to the Brad. Let's check it out one more time.
Flash grab here on the aiming. He ends up getting burnt. Peter has no aftershock. So the first kill goes over here. And aiming is dead, though. So it's a trade of support for AD carry. So yeah, you got the first blood gold, but you lost your AD carry. The enemy AD carry is still farming and has an experience lead. Is able to get it back here with a longsword and call.
Yeah, and so Ghost has a higher lead over Peter than Docdom does over aiming, but the money on the supports just really doesn't mean that much.
Really doesn't. And Peter is, I was going to say, in this lane was going to be a paperweight, but now he has weighted aiming down, in fact. Aiming turned into paper, actually, so I guess it works out.
Look at that, Shock Blast gank on the wave. As Pioshik moves over, this ward is going to be swept. Should be Rift Scuttle taken here by the Lee Sin. Chase doing the same thing towards the top side, Cuz getting through that jungle pretty quick. And everything goes quiet once more on Summoner's Rift.
Pioshik, I don't think wants to set up a dive or anything crazy down here on the bottom side, but there's definitely a lot more agency here for DNS. As Peter is not able to quite get into range there with his Hex Flash.
Yeah, Ghost just going to keep meep slapping and electrocuting the Rel as often as he can. But that is Closer taking a turret shot that he very much did not want to take. BDD doesn't have any mana though, and he misses a cannon. So we're going to say that it's negatives on both sides. No flash available for aiming, and he's just going to get all in. Again, Docdom takes his second!
I think this is just too
they
much.
really missed their bottom lane, dude.
I think this is too much. I have been criticized in my early League of Legends casting years for calling games early, but this is too much. Like, this is an 800 gold lead nearly here as that plate goes
and
over.
And the whole wave is just gone.
It's gone. It's a 15 CS advantage. And it's just like good coordination here. Peter with the Hex Flash closes the gap. Docdom already trusting they're going to be able to get this.
Gorgeous. Slurkle slows him up.
This is the ranged Bard lane.
Yeah.
You had counter pick.
And obviously, like, Caitlyn doesn't have that much to offer back, but you're supposed to stay at range, right? You're supposed to try and just get pot shots. Not the all-in is never the thing that you can do, but DNS have been really, really good at forcing the all-in. And if you can do that, then the engage lane works. Man, Peter just reading the matchup, playing it well.
You're not supposed to get a touching distance. They have done it twice now. And Pioshik is going to be able to safeguard, again, high value.
Yep, as Dudu gets the knockup, uses the flash, and Perfect going to flash out of the way. No mana to speak of, as both of our top laners just teleporting back to lane a little while ago. As now Pioshik just giving some gold over to Cuz for that first strike.
Now, Jace jungle does incredibly well with Prio. If your bottom lane is in tatters, it's a little bit tricky to play this out actually now as Jace because you don't really have good CC. And I mean, aiming wishes he was playing League of Legends.
Yeah, unfortunately not really able to. Docdom takes a little bit of damage from that Shock Blast. It's a little bit annoying, but not really going to be too consequential as Dudu pushes this whole wave forward. Unstoppable onslaught here from Perfect. Might get interrupted here by Dudu on purpose, which would be pretty funny, because then he wouldn't be able to get the minions underneath the turret. But it does not actually happen that way. Shock Blast going to go wide. As Pioshik on the crab.
I think they're trying to bait a fight. They're like, you guys want to fight this?
I don't think KT should want to fight this.
They want their
is a little bigger than aiming.
They want their scuttle, but they just have to give it up. You have to say, all right, yep, the bottom lane's in tatters, and our Jace doesn't have Prio, and so therefore, not going to do so. Pioshik gets level 6, by the way. Level 6 not there for Cuz, but also doesn't matter. Pioshik actually has a real ultimate ability, and so continuing to try to scrap for this, I think, would be unwise for Cuz. I think your best bet is to try to look for an empowered Shock Blast steal, and even Peter's going to walk up and say no. He cannot
the bottom lane priority is just too much. KT do have control in mid, but they have no semblance of it towards this bottom side. So DNS can be able to use that to grab themselves this first Drake. Next one going to be a Chemtech. So some big, powerful dragons.
We talked about the Yunara lead for Geo in game 1 of our previous series today. Was gifted kills, right? WinCon out the window, a lot of issues there, but in this game, it's just turned the bottom lane for KT into a peg leg. It's, like Docdom has a lead, but this Caitlyn that really is strongest before she hits her trough in the early laning phase, and the dominance you pick this pick for is now just kind of handicapped, unfortunately, and Let's see what BDD can get done. You know, we had that cool shove earlier. Sion maybe 13 CS behind, getting proxied, but maybe, you know, he's just Sion, he'll be fine. Maybe the Jace, that pick is super broken, right? That's why it's banned every time. Maybe it's just strong enough to get over the line here for KT.
I like the clutching at straws that you're doing, but right now it is feeling a little bit worrisome. Rest of the map, kind of okay, like you're saying. So I'd say early days, doesn't feel like it. Feels like DNS already off to
early days, yeah,
exactly
that's
the
when
start
Caitlyn saw
that
1,000 gold up, right?
Oh dear. Oh, Perfect now having to fight against Dudu, who is feeling better and better in this lane. Soon just going to be taking 0 damage forever, and does secure the cannon quite nicely. It's Perfect just wants to be that big old tanky front line. And looking at his tab screen, he's just feeling a little bit worried about what that might look like.
I would say so.
Oh dear.
Now, in terms of things that inspire confidence,
we're looking for some of those.
Taliyah, Jace as a duo, not so much, but Taliyah, Weaver's Wall, stalling out objectives, playing through some shock blasts, and looking for an all-in onto perhaps a greedy Yunara. There's some wiggle room, right? KT have a draft that has a decent amount of burst. They even have the aiming ultimate, right, to follow up on some of these scraps. If Cuz chips somebody down super low, then and they're isolated and no one can block for them aiming ults, and that target is out of the fight. They probably won't die, right, but they'll potentially be out of the fight. There's some things you can do. They have tools. Well, and, you know, here...
That's going to try and lock down Doctarm, but it does not work, as the turret going to lose a plate. Closer with Realm Warp available. Thought he might be looking towards that bottom side. The Arc of Ruin flying on forward there from Doctarm.
So Caitlyn doing a little bit of Caitlyn things just for a moment.
Yep, and at least they do get Doctarm's ult out, so that's going to be down for just a little bit. Not too long though. Cooldown is relatively short. But teleport back here from Perfect. Be able to get back towards this lane, and his Balmy Cinder and his Bramble Vest going to be doing a decent job clearing this.
I am very scared for what this first dragon fight, like, or really it's second dragon fight, right? But the first dragon fight that KT could potentially look for is going to look like, whether it's this dragon, right, where it's really tough because Yunara is pretty ahead, or if they don't fight and they give 2 dragons with Ocean and Chemtech not in the soul pool. So that is...
Yeah.
It's very awkward for KT to make the decision to let it go, but to fight for it may just cost them their tournament life.
Dudu just taking some tunnels to get himself out of there. Preyseeker connects on to Perfect, as once again, shoved back is Closer. We will be checking out Caitlyn going back home. Berserker's Greaves now complete. But man, looking real worse for wear here in this bottom lane. And that cull, only 12 stacks left to go for Doctarm. He is very happy with the game state. And Perfect, not so much. The Rek'Sai doing what she's supposed to do.
I like it when they put this graphic up and it doesn't show the gold leads. You're like, ooh, it could be a close game.
Now you have to calculate it for yourself.
No, I mean, not even the one at the top. For lane by lane, you're like, his CS number's not that different.
Yeah. I don't know where this gold lead came from.
Yeah, it does show a little
600.
Small bounty there in the bottom lane, but... All
right, Ghost just going to get the flash out of Doctarm. Not bad. Lands the Cosmic Binding as well, gets the barrier.
Weaver's Wall at the ready for BDD. If Doctarm wanted to try to bait, or if he gets baited in, but like he's 1v2, so I don't know why he ever would.
Yeah, Cuz moving over here as well. They do manage to sweep out this ward. And Piochik walks over Vision himself as BDD clears out the wave, and Cuz knows what's going on. At least Piochik does have control vision down there. There's more money. Just a cheeky little extra 5 gold. Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of going on, because I don't know whether DNS are going to be able to use this in order to follow it through for a victory. And I also don't know how KT are going to be feeling after things went this abominably bad in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to stabilize some of the bleeding here. Sion ulting back to top lane, losing more plates, losing his ultimate, not able to join this fight.
At least KT do know that this dragon's going on.
Weaver's Wall, how does it work for them in this case? Like, are they going to try to zone the Rise out who can ult over it? Or are they going to try to cut off the bottom duo? Shock Blast isn't going to do much for them.
Well, Pyosik is somewhat separated at the moment. Seismic Shove does pull him back, and he's on the rocks. He eats a lot of them as flashes out for both the jungle and mid of KT. That is the Drake secured, as now Cuz moving himself back, and KT, I don't think they're going to be... Oh, aiming. Has to flash again as the Realm Warp brings the DN Supers forward. BDD in a bit of trouble here, as there is the Prey Seeker, and Dudu with the Void Rush is able to take him down. Yeah, just separated and destroyed. Perfect is trying to get some work done towards his top side, but KT, they're falling apart.
They certainly are. That fight, initially it looks like, okay, did they really need to flash the Lee Sin engage? And the truth is, because Pyosik had flash, kind of yes, if they get insect in, they will just die there. Whoever gets insect into the waiting maw of DNS is
okay, here's another Tempered Fate, as they do find the Cosmic Binding. Docton taking a lot of damage there as Peter goes in, gets that big old shield, and aiming, doing his very best to take him down. There's the magical journey. Down goes the Rel, and aiming still alive. I kind of thought that maybe there was aiming was going to die there, and then we'd just see him walk out of the Chijijik Low Park. But doesn't happen, and Ghost is going to chase Doctom down.
I thought Doctom was going to arc him. Obviously I wasn't tracking the cooldown, but I was very scared that aiming somehow was going to get blown up there. Had the barrier, and so they make something happen here. Believe it or not, and it's only now a 300 gold lead. And
Collector is done.
Collector's done. That's the beginning, as we'll go back and watch this here. They tried to split, a little bit slow on this. Target selection is the Unara, which is correct. If they try to go for Peter here, I think this is a completely different scenario. Pushing Docton back, then they go over the wall here. Peter, very low. Aiming drops his barrier because he's leaving nothing to chance.
Yeah, and I think he needed to. You got to make sure that you pay as much respect as possible. As the KT fans daring to hope, daring to dream. As we have a look back, DNS with a slight gold advantage. But Doctom's lead has certainly gone down, especially considering the fact that he has completed his cull already. So with plate gold and things like that, aiming feeling pretty good.
That's traction.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a wet noodle fight that will continue for a very long time.
I'm going to test your reflexes. Perfect presses Q. He's like, oh, I will play it.
There you go. Checkmate.
If you were just a little slower.
Oh dear.
Well,
I feel like the closer this game is, the more anxiety I'm filled with.
No, exactly. Before it was like, well, I guess, you know, we'll just remember this last game of the series is kind of a, they had the wind out of their sails after game one, some errors in the bottom lane. I guess it's done, but they get you hopeful that maybe this is a 3-game series, and then you're like, oh, I've been hopeful before. I mean, just for me as a commentator who predicted this as a 2-1. I want to see 3 here. I want to see KT bounce back. Nobody wants to see a team get obliterated in game 2 like this after losing game 1 in such a way. But this Jace pick just really isn't hit right for me. And, you know, the bottom lane disaster, we've talked about it enough, as that Shock Blast is also going to miss. But they're going to look for an all-in here on this Herald, I suppose, with this TP, but they're too slow.
Oh, God, yeah. Perfect makes his way in, but he does have a huge shield after he gets here amongst 4 people.
But they can't do anything.
Rift Herald taken down. That's a great shove onto Pyosik, but that's perfect, taking a lot of damage. Forced to flash to get out of the way as Pyosik gets ulted here by the Scion, and aiming, having to deal with Dudu, who is just refusing to take damage. Seismic Shove doesn't do too much as Pyosik crashes Shelly into this outer turret, and Peter is looking to get out of there with the crash down. KT will give up the Herald, and Doctom able to dash his way out, but does have to use the ulti to do so.
I think worth it to use the ultimate there. He didn't need it for the fight, because there just wasn't really a fight.
Flash out from Ghost, man. That was a little bit frightening. I think there was a snap trap in the way, so he didn't really need to. Unless, no, Dudu had flash, so
Dudu had flash.
Could have been flash knocked up.
In this situation too, you just don't want to leave anything to chance, I suppose, as the low health or the not tanky squishy bard.
Big agree.
Is in a position to where you already lost the 2v2 bottom, and you really just want to give over any money. Just trying to play safe, try to hang on, try to get your mental back on straight. As it has certainly gone boom, I think.
Oh yeah,
and 45 seconds till another Hextech soul, by the way. They gave 2 dragons, and I was like, oh, it's going to be a high roll, right? Chemtech and Ocean are off the cards. We got Hextech again. Imagine just the double Hextech here to win the series and to move on and play ins here for DNS. Could be, we might not have to imagine it. We might actually witness it before our very eyes here as the dragon spawns in 25 seconds. Prio, still a bit ambiguous here. Duck having control of the mid lane, and this Ryze pushing here in the bottom lane means that it's going to be KT trying to wrestle it away. Perfect did use TP, Dudu did not, so they have a man advantage. I think this is just going to go over unless KT can make something happen before it spawns. It's up now. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, let's hope that they try and fight for it, because I think giving this one up is going to be problematic. As KT moving forward, they have to get it. Like, you can't give away Hextech Soul this early. It's just insane.
It's a 5v4 no matter what. Like, Perfect can't get here. He just will not be able to.
He does have ult, so he can sort of just, like, you know, wave race down the river.
He's standing to position for that, as you say it. But he doesn't want to waste his ultimate because he doesn't know where Dudu is. Dudu's missing on the map, so he kind of has to slowly walk down as Pyosik starts this up slowly and Peter gets positioned on the banana brush where they have control vision.
Yeah, and KT, they really, okay, Tempered Fate goes wide. The train is rolling in as Peter kind of throws his ultimate away, doesn't find an angle for it, is now perfect in that front line, but it is Soul Point over to DNS. Pyosik playing the series of his life. Well, not his life, because that happened in 2022, but definitely of the year. As that Realm Warp is a Realm Warp of all time, 100%. His closer is now going to get punished for it.
Looks like they'll be fine, but yeah, I wouldn't have taken that direction myself. I probably would have just gone back towards the Hex Gate, but they want to defend this mid turret. They clear out the wave. Dudu might have been able to do that on his own.
Oh man, KT, I mean, you can't give up that dragon.
I know, but they can't get anything going in this game. They just really cannot. And it feels so bad to give it up, but they couldn't find the fight angle. And when they were trying to push to the left side of the dragon pit, you could see how much damage Duck was able to put in to the Scion even already this early in the game. Bracken Kraken Slayer non-stop. He's looking for his second item here fairly soon, if not right now. I mean, watch this one more time. Pyosik starts the dragon up. Duck can walk forward, and he once again dashes the Bard ultimate. Still has flash, still has barrier. Perfect gets shoved back in. And the contest here on the dragon, it's a 50-50.
Oh no, early smite.
Early smite. And then the Caitlyn traps, they just play around them. They're just like, we don't need to win this fight. We just got Hextech Soul Point. We don't need a Realm Warp that direction either, but that's another topic for another day. They wanted to defend the turret, which it worked out. Like, they could have just not gone into the pit, but they get there, they defend the turret.
And now the gold advantage is actually all Dudu. As Doctom and Aiming are basically even. Obviously, doesn't mean that much, as these two items that Doctom does have is a big spike for the Yunara.
And how much money, like, what would you put the price of an Hextech Soul, especially a 4-0 Hextech Soul on? Like, gold here,
I mean,
maybe relatively even, but
large amount.
Ghost, so, I mean, some things just can't be calculated in gold. They're that valuable.
Indeed. Although there probably is representative gold value, as Pyosik on a little bit of a flank angle. This turret looking very worse for wear.
And the closer also here. KT, I think, very wise to this suddenly, like, wait a minute. That ward is hit.
This is sneaky. Aiming. Ooh, he was thinking about it, as Peter is going to tank that ace in the hole, but probably didn't want to in the end. Peacemaker comes on down.
He is still fairly vulnerable. This turret isn't going to last very long. It's got Crystalline on it. Pyosik's going to make this happen, I think. Atlas
He is a very patient man. Gets the kickback, picked up by the Magnet Storm, and down goes Aiming once again.
What a sick play. And they know that with the Crystalline Overgrowth there, they just instantly kill him. There is no backup. Like, there's no way. I think Aiming, when he went for that ult, he was like, okay, nobody jumped out of the brush there. I'm probably fine. They would have got me while I was channeling. Duckdown dashes
every
it
time.
Again, he dashes it.
Every ult he has available is just used to dodge out of the way of a Tempered Fate. And honestly, I mean, it's kind of okay if you start fights earlier, but Aiming is dead, and Doctom just has to wait a little while for that ultimate to be back up. Does have his Infinity Edge on the way.
We're starting to be able to have that conversation about the Baron, you know, here for DNS, as this play is just so clean. Ward hopping in, looking for the kick. There's no turret. Cuz cannot do anything, as he's a Jace. I mean, I think if he was any other champion, he probably would have died anyways, but he especially can't do anything but send a Shock Blast and say, sorry, man, that's all I got.
Well, there's actually a really fun outcome, right? If DNS does manage to win this game, I want to go into that theoretical world.
Yes, the D+ selection?
Yes, the D+ selection is very, very fun, because what it might mean is that they select DNS, and then we get the DRX versus Nongshim rematch.
Ooh.
That would be very, very fun. And then we could have, you know, a DNS versus DRX.
I don't like that rematch. That's too much for me. Like that one's really difficult to call and difficult to wrap my head around.
That's what makes it fun.
I'm ready for the D+ tragedy, you know?
I mean, that is...
D+ lose to DNS, that could happen, though. I mean,
certainly could, especially if DNS keep playing well. Pyosik feeling like he's just imagining himself in New York once again, you know? That's what it feels like. That's all right, KT bearing down on this bottom lane. Peter clearing out vision.
Zuckdom has got this wave controlled. We're 45 seconds away from this dragon. KT want to do an early setup, but it's way too early, and they're losing minions. They're bleeding out super fast. Like, the gold lead has been minuscule across the map this entire game, but if you're a League of Legends connoisseur, you know that the next big step here is this dragon, and KT have never been able to control the map, never really able to win a scrap, so you just don't... It feels like the gold lead is 6,000 here for me, for DNS.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like their win cons are so much higher here. KT have one last desperate fight. If they mess this up, by the way, they've messed up everyone so far, then that's the game, right? That's Hextech Soul. So...
Oh, aiming. Dudu is now lurking in the Pyosik position. It looks like aiming is just going to walk his way out. The only place he knows there is safety, as the dragon has now spawned. Closer to the southern side of this, as you've got Peter looking for a little bit of a reset. And vision now down on the Drake. Started up, but Pyosik's in the area, and his smite button has been so good. Peter's back in base.
Yeah, that's a big opportunity for KT. Late TP.
Big flanking teleport angle, though, for Dudu. If he can get in here, that is going to be Cuz denying the soul. And now Dudu's possibly fighting a triple knock-up. Gigantic here, but he's taken out. Pyosik's going to go down, and the Magnet Storm collects them all. Dokdom to pick up a double, as Peter will get knocked into the sky, but the fight is already over. 2 on the floor here for KT.
That's Baron.
Oh my goodness, don't tell me they can actually just walk over and take it. That's a very young Baron Wolf.
Jesus. What's that? It was like, hey, I got it. Cuz it's like, I got it. And then promptly,
oh no,
Rek'Sai engage.
Now
Magnet
they
Storm
can't
follow.
quite get to the Baron. Yes, they can. Cuz is dead, Pyosik is dead. Peter, perfect, sorry, is walking up, does have to just drive that train out.
He kind of tricked him, like they got off the Baron.
They did.
They could have just ignored him.
And they are just going to go for the reset, so it does deny the Baron, and this does deny the soul.
Look at how close this is to a 50-50, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It was actually the fact that Cuz did the hammer boot back onto Pyosik, but this, man, oh my lord.
And then Peter is like...
Hex skating over.
Again. Oh! And it was already over, by the way. It didn't even need that to happen.
But it looked so
cinematic
good.
As hell, yeah.
It looked so good.
Peter was like, you give me one champion with a circle on it that hits multiple people, I get it done every time.
Oh, yeah. And that also confirms his 100% kill contribution, which is very, very important. Almost 100% death contribution as well, which would have been very impressive. Going to be seeing that bottom lane outer turret falling down. The lead is extending here for DNS to the tune of about 3,000.
Who is Palm?
Oh, God, Wolf. I have no idea. Yeah, no. I don't need to know. I don't need to know because I don't have a vote.
Well, I started to remember that suddenly I actually have to both vote for one and then justify it with a comment later.
Oh no, not the comment.
It's contractually obligated to do so.
Yeah, no, it is actually in his contract, everyone. As Perfect is not going to get his blue buff. Pyosik lying in wait. He's spent a lot of time standing in bush.
How long until the Caitlyn trough gets climbed out of? Aiming just keeps trying to get foothold.
Yeah.
And, you know that guy that recently climbed the Taipei building?
No, he's like the silverfish in the bottom of your bath that's trying to climb out and just can't really do it, you know?
That guy climbed the Taipei building recently. I forget his name, Alex something, right? Like he said sick at the top. I think that's what Aiming will say if he climbs out of an equally large trough that he's in this game.
Yes, I would agree.
He's an item down. He's working on that third item. He's getting closer, little by little. The Baron is still live, and DNS have not been able to start it just yet, but now that those ultimates back online, I think they certainly can. And the Dragon spawning in 2 minutes time. That's again Hextech Soul, so DNS can try to threaten a turn on Baron here. They will need to, you know, sell the Baron, I think, a little bit harder than they are right now.
Yeah, we're checking out Perfect and Dudu. on this angle here as well. No teleports available for either of our top lanes, but getting closer as level 16's hit for BDD and Perfect.
And when a Ryze and a Yunara are showing on waves, I think KT are pretty sure you're not doing the Baron. Piotr's like, aha! Joke's on you. Now the Yunara is not showing, so KT will come over here, look for a contest. Perfect does have teleport. This may be the last moment in this game here.
And the thing that's
really walk away.
The thing that's really important here as well is the DNS have Tremor Sense. So Dudu is so important for spotting out KT, trying to get flank angles, wrapping around things like this. And it can be really, really hard to catch them by surprise. They have access to that. So Dr. Arm getting stronger and stronger. Has another quiver. I think aiming is going to be relatively close, I guess, to Infinity Edge. You might have it on this back.
He doesn't have his flash, but he has...
There it is.
His support has Knight's Vow and the Locket, so it's very difficult to kill him.
All right, Wolf, there are turrets left on the map.
Yeah,
KT.
True. It's looking better for KT right now than it looked for DNS in the previous game.
True.
30 seconds till this dragon spawns. DNS want to just get Hextech Soul work for them in game 1. This time they have a lead, and it might work for them in game 2 as well. TP in from the Rek'Sai. I don't think they're going to get that same wombo combo they got last time, but this time they have Prio, and so if Piotr's smite button hits...
They might just get the dragon, you know?
Yeah,
that might just be it.
That could be it.
There are 3 items and a Serrated Dirk here on Cuz. He does do a lot of damage with this full lethality build.
If he hits.
Yeah. Oh, Wolf, come on, man. He did not.
That's Chase,
no,
baby.
they also did double control ward. They are completely out of sync.
By the way.
Yeah. KT, you need to get over there and try and take this one down as closer. Down to 50%. As can Cuz actually get in there? The Magnet Storm is fantastic from Peter as Dudu gets into the backline, and there's the Hextech Soul! They're on top of aiming, and I don't even think they needed the ulti out of Dudu to take him down, but they're going to do so anyway, as Ghost is also dead, Cuz dies at the same time, and BDD offers himself up as tribute to the DNS War Machine, who are now just realm warping towards the enemy base. Is it just going to be the DNS 2-0, and what did and Umpty know that everyone else didn't?
Well, Wood is an ex-support player. Peter is an ex-KT player, and he and Duckdom are looking to end this one and get revenge.
Yeah, Perfect. Just going to be taken down. The zombie version I don't think is going to be enough to deal with these minions, as the Nexus turret will be falling. There are some respawns coming on in here, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And yeah, free hitting is Dr. He takes down the Nexus, and DNS will eliminate KT in 2-0 fashion. Right, yeah. And also, it might be actually the year of Dudu, because Dudu having a fantastic series. I think the Rek'Sai was obscenely good here in this game number 2, but his Gwen was also fantastic, especially for the intelligent positioning later on in the game, denying the backdoor attempt. As we have a listen to DNS as they just wipe the floor with KT in this fight. And KT also got out macroed throughout this entire game as well. And just some really bizarre moves being made. And DNS just finding all the angles. Dudu doing so much damage in this game, my god. On a Rek'Sai, I guess he was just hitting Perfect over and over again, but still, pretty impressive. And then we will get the palm, and I just have no idea.
This is the kind of series where it's the same sort of vibe with me when KT lost to T1, where even T1 fans also kind of felt this immense feeling of like, we overcame KT, but also you can't help but feel bad. Like, I think there's no way Faker didn't feel bad, you know? It's like, wow, what a loss. This was my second choice. I'm still going to keep mine a secret, but I almost voted for him. He had an incredible series. His Yunara popping off in game 2, but in game 1, keeping it cool when it mattered most.